I like the sunshine. I like being outside with the barbecue going. So I'm looking forward to the summer. And hopefully in the summer, there will be less coronavirus panic. For me, it just seems like it's another strain of the flu. I'm just washing my hands to the tune of happy birthday as told. You can't get hand sanitizer anywhere. It's a weird time. And it does seem to be that the cases are getting more. I think it's like 130 cases now in the UK, which is pretty crazy. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope you're okay. Hope you're safe and well in the midst of chaos in the United Kingdom and across the world, in fact. The government have given lots of instructions as to what we should and shouldn't do. Apparently, we shouldn't go to the pub. We shouldn't go out unless necessary. It's mad that we're living in these times and these things are happening. You know, it kind of feels like a movie, but it's real. And yes, there are probably tough times ahead. And yes, the way that we're living our lives right now in using terms such as self-isolation, these are things we're going to have to get used to right now, but it will get better. Absolutely no pasta at all in the house, so if you want pasta, you can't. Here we go, here's the only tin meat they've got left. Ox tongue. So I am actually working now. My job title, if you like, is Sales and Lettings Assistant. At the moment, we're still allowed to go into the office. It's something we're going to have to get used to because we're probably going to be in this situation for at least a couple of months, I would have thought. Although we don't really know, it could be a year. And this, by the way, is how we're going to be doing church for the next few months. This is it. This is the new reality. We're ready on here. I think churches can do better online and be better online and reach more people online, and this is going to be something that does that. You're propped up against a bag of cashews at the moment.
Oh, it's upside down.
Oh, it's upside down. Oh, don't come too close. We're on FaceTime with Mum for Mother's Day. There's no viruses out here. Just wild garlic and deer. Oh, that rhymed! Everyone's loving social media at the moment, aren't they? Because it's really come to the rescue. So good at connecting you with other people. In times like this, you've got to see the positives. You've got to. Otherwise, the news and all of that stuff going on, it could just be enough to drive us crazy and freak us out completely.
If you're self-isolating and need some support, such as collecting shopping, these are the numbers to ring.
No way. See, that is what it's all about. Communities looking out for each other, looking after each other. I love it. And I am doing university in our room, in our bedroom right now, so that she can teach in there. So I'm doing my uni lectures via like an online video thing. They're queuing out onto the main road because they've said that tonight is going to be the last night that McDonald's is open.
Selling non-essential goods, including clothing and electronic stores.
Just got the TV on right now. Boris is shutting the country down. So that is it. We are now officially in lockdown. Boris Johnson has shut the country, and I think he's done the right thing as well, because people have not been taking this thing seriously, and now we're all in until it goes away, pretty much. You can't believe that you're living in this sort of time, really. We are officially on lockdown now. This is it. We're in. I just had a phone call from my work, and they've had to let me go. What that means for us paying bills probably means we'll have to dig into the coffers a little bit, but that's okay. Normally a very, very, very busy road. You can see people trying to find the widest bit of the footpath so that they don't have to walk too close to. Those two ladies are literally having a catch up, and they're staying 2 meters apart. Apparently at 8 o'clock, everybody is going to their window and applauding. Fireworks. You hear that? That is amazing. Actually quite emotional. It's getting a bit more serious now. Lots of people were, dying. I keep watching the news and seeing people out in the parks and stuff, like in big groups and all this, and it gets me really cross because I just think actually we've been given a really easy job, which is to stay indoors. The people who've been given the difficult job are the ones who are literally on the front line fighting the virus, who have been applauding every Thursday night. It's the first time I've had a letter from 10 Downing Street. Something to keep, I suppose. One day we can show our kids that we lived through the coronavirus times. Were you even in lockdown if you didn't make a banana bread? But there we go, that's the finished banana bread. Lots of people still go shopping without the masks, but I figure we have one, I might as well just wear it. There we go, I'm ready. The mask makes it hot and hard to breathe and stuff. It makes you think, actually. The guys who are doing it for the NHS, fair play, because they wear it all day. You didn't say anything about whether we're allowed to see people. We're allowed to go and sit outside as well, which for people like me and Joe, we've been in this flat for 7 weeks now, and everyone's been putting online about how they're enjoying the gardens and stuff, and that's great, but we don't have one. Just like that, we are back in a shop. And now that we're allowed to sit outside, we thought we'd come out here and have a little bit of afternoon tea. Dominic Cummings, everyone's talking about at the moment. He bent the rules to suit himself. Boris Johnson has just called a press conference. You get a little bit of hope and you think you're going to be allowed to go back to normal, and then it's taken away from you. That's how it is, isn't it? What can we do? I was just looking forward to seeing people again. But that day will come, and when it does, it'll be a wonderful, wonderful day. Look at what I am watching. It's football, and it's back after 100 days without watching English football. It's just really quiet, like you can hear the players and the staff like shouting to each other. So there you have it, lockdown coming to an end, 4th of July. Haven't seen my family since Christmas. We're gonna see them today. Lockdown is coming to an end.
The bar is open.
Cheers everyone! Cheers! This week we're doing Cornwall, listed as one of the best beaches in the country for views and scenery and stuff. We've bunked in with Liam and Joanna this time. This is the life, everyone. Floating around in the sea, dodging the waves. Just trying not to drop my phone. People are starting to get sick again, particularly with everyone going back to work and eating out and people going back to school and university and all these things. In my mind, I think this was always gonna happen. And the government have been encouraging us to do that with the Eat Out to Help Out deal that's been on that we've taken full advantage of. Certainly haven't done this before, but myself and Joe today are off to get a COVID test. Joe's had a cold for like the last week and I'm fairly sure it is just a cold. We felt like the responsible thing to do, particularly because she's been coughing a bit, is just to get a COVID test. Where are we now? We're like 9-10 months into this chaos and it's not going away. The virus is actually on the resurgence now. You know, we've got friends who've got COVID now. It's crazy and it just feels a bit more real now. I know it always was, but when somebody you know gets it, it sort of becomes a bit more real, doesn't it? That they may have found a vaccine for COVID-19. I feel like that's going to be like the new thing that everyone's going to be sort of flipping out about with the vaccine. It's going to be like, oh, well, I'm entitled to one because I have an old grandma. I feel more equipped for this lockdown than I did the last one. I feel like the last one was, you know, it happened very quickly out of nowhere and it was so long. It was, what was it, 2 months? You know, a lot of the supermarkets are open and you can go and get like drive-through Costas and it feels less harsh than last time. So we're doing all right. We're getting through this one quite well. It's almost becoming normal, isn't it, now to be locked in? But we are coming towards the end. On the 2nd of December, this lockdown is due to come to an end. And the full picture is the last few weeks I've really felt it. I've missed friends. I've not been eating properly. I've not been exercising properly. I've been worrying about stuff more than I normally do. You know, this is the reality. The rules around Christmas came out a couple of days ago. They basically ended up saying, the government, that we can see 2 other households. Wasn't ideal because me and Joe have 2 households on each side of the family. Each area of the UK, each county has been given a tier. So tier 3 is like very high risk. Gloucestershire, where we are, is tier 2. This morning, they vaccinated a human being with the COVID-19 vaccine. That is the beginning of the end, isn't it? Surely, hopefully, you know, come Easter sort of time, I would say, we should be back to where we were before all of this kicked off. Oh, I genuinely really hope it works. And it looks like they've been giving it to lots of people today now. I'm so happy to see that happening. It's going to be a long time before I get a vaccine, I know that. Give it to the vulnerable, give it to those who need it the most, and let's get this thing done. We want life back to normal, and I feel like this today is a big step in the right direction. So now we get 1 day rather than 5 with our families. We get Christmas Day. But what a blow this is to everyone who was looking forward to mentally spending time with people they haven't seen in months. We've isolated for ages and only gone to the supermarket to get shopping, go for a walk, whatever. Haven't gone anywhere else because we've been looking after ourselves and following the rules. I'm still disappointed. I still think the timing was bad. I think they should have done it a while ago rather than getting everyone to spend their money and get their hopes up. We're still gonna travel down to Devon just for Christmas Day. It's onwards and upwards. 2020's been a tough year. 2021 can only be an improvement, can't it? I'm putting off the inevitable today. I need to go and do the food shop at some point, but I don't really want to go to the shops because COVID exists out there somewhere. So I'm trying to avoid that so that I'm not ill for Christmas. All snuggled up on the sofa, ready to be locked down for a 3rd time in a year.
We must therefore get into a national lockdown. That means the government is once again instructing you to stay at home.
So there we go, everyone. Lockdown 3.0 begins Wednesday morning at midnight, and it's desperate. It's a desperate situation. He said that unless we go to a lockdown now, that the NHS will be overwhelmed within 3 weeks. Imagine every hospital bed being full and they have to turn people away who need help. You don't ever want to see that, and so I think for that reason alone, we have to do it. We have to go into another lockdown. It's not what anybody wants. Just thinking, I think this might be the last time that I go in person because I think I'm probably going to do like the click and collect. You literally order the food online, you turn up at Tesco and they put it in the boot of your car. So it means you don't have to go into Tesco and expose yourself to the virus. This COVID, I'm sick of it. I don't know about you. I'm well, I'm sure I do know about you, actually. I'm sure you're sick of it too. We are back in our homes for the foreseeable future until the vulnerable have been vaccinated, and it seems as though the vaccine program is going pretty well. One day when all this is over, we'll put an old coat on and we'll go in the pocket to get some money out, and we'll find a mask, and we'll be like, oh yeah, remember that? Remember when we all had to wear masks when we went into the shops, or to stand 2 meters apart from each other and we couldn't hug? We'll look back on it and we'll think, wow, we lived through that. And we've just got to 10 million vaccines, so that's good. It's coming up on a year now, isn't it, of lockdowns and tiers and social distancing and all of that. Struggling to remember a life before all of this now. This just feels like normal, doesn't it? I never wear hats, ever. But my hair's getting quite long. I got myself a cap, and at 7 PM Boris Johnson is doing a press conference to talk about the roadmap out of lockdown. All of that stuff will be forever associated with 2020, and I vlogged that whole year, so I've got like a record of it, of what it looked like for me, you know. I want to vlog the whole thing from the day we found out about lockdown 1.0 to the day that I get that jab in my arm.
Then from the 21st of June, we will go to step 4 and say goodbye to most remaining restrictions.
21st of June 2021, they're anticipating that life in this country will be able to go back to normal. A year up to this point, really, that we've been in some form of restriction. They're planning on vaccinating all adults by the 31st of July. When the vaccine is offered to me, I will definitely be taking it. Dear Mr. Sanders, you've been invited to book your first COVID-19 vaccination. Your COVID-19 vaccination is booked 20th of March at 2:40. I always said that when I got offered it, I would take it, and I'm definitely going to be taking the vaccine. Pretty much the whole of 2020, they were searching for this vaccine, and now they've got one, and I'm going to be getting one on Saturday, so there we go. I'm going to be getting my vaccination done today for COVID-19, my first vaccination of 2. We're living history right now, and today feels like a big day. Matt Hancock said that we have now vaccinated over half of the adult population of the UK. This is our team effort, isn't it? We're all going to work together right now and have our vaccines and reclaim the life that we knew before all of this, you know, reclaiming our trips to the pub, to wedding receptions, to wedding ceremonies, to football matches, you know, to date nights in restaurants. All those things that we've missed in getting the vaccine, we get to play our part in claiming them back. Is it this on?
Yeah. Okay?
Yeah, go ahead, no problem.
Here we go, a little sharp scratch.
Thank you. Ideal.
Here we go.
Job done. I have had my first COVID-19 vaccination. It was just so easy. Like, I just can't believe how easy it was. It was quick, and it's done now. You know, I've been vaccinated from COVID-19. I can't believe it. So I had the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. I kept waking up during the night, and it was just felt quite sore. 2 days now since I've had the vaccine. I feel a lot more like my normal self. Like I say, my arm's still a little bit achy. I still feel quite tired. I said in my video I was a part of history getting it done. I really was, because I think it was about 800,000 vaccines done on Saturday. Getting out here now that everything's kind of going back the way it used to be. It's nice to spend some time together. For the first time in months and months and months and months, there are fans in the stadium. He's expected to announce that we are allowed to start hugging again.
Moving to step 3 in England from next Monday, the 17th of May.
Apparently there's been 0 deaths from COVID today in the UK. You have been invited to book your second COVID-19 vaccination. So the day after my jab, I do not feel good at all. This is pretty much how I felt last time.
I think it is sensible to wait just a little longer.
They have delayed the opening of society, you know, the end of all of these restrictions. They've delayed that now until the 19th of July. We're so close to the end now. So many people have been vaccinated. Joe's actually got her jab booked as well now for, I think it's next week at some point. It's one of the biggest gatherings of people, legal gatherings of people in this country for about a year. This video began 500 days ago to the day with a bit of news that none of us ever thought we'd hear and with the beginning of a season of life that none of us ever thought we'd have to live through. This last 500 days has been life-changing for me, and I'm sure for you watching this. But we survived and we made it through it. There are many, many people who won't get to watch this video who didn't make it through. And it's for those people and to those people that I wish to dedicate this video. This is my story of what it was like to live through COVID-19. Each of us has had to battle COVID-19 in our own way. For you, that might look like loneliness, that might look like depression, that might look like the breakdown of a business or the loss of earnings. It might look like frustration at those at the top of the tree in government. But for each of us, it also looks like survival, and from today, it looks like hope as well. We may not agree with everything the government has done up to this point, I know I certainly don't, but from today we have that hope back, and we have that opportunity to resume the life that we knew before all of this began. Will it look exactly the same as it did before? No, of course it won't, but nor should it look the same as before. We have to allow this experience to change us for the better, which isn't always the easiest thing to do, because we've been through a tough time, each one of us. But hopefully, from tomorrow morning, life resumes. Here's hoping and here's praying that it lasts. Here's hoping that we never have to hear the words lockdown again. And hopefully we can begin to enjoy the things that we used to enjoy to the full. I'm actually here outside a garage right now. I've just filled up my car with petrol because I'm about to drive to Cornwall with my wife Jo and with my 2 best friends. And we're gonna have a week together, having a holiday, relaxing. So for the next 2 weeks, there won't be any new videos on this channel. But beyond that, and after that 2 weeks comes to an end, I'll be back, I will be posting, I will be creating. So I'll see you all in 2 weeks. I'm off for a much needed rest with those that I love. And when I get back, we go again. See you soon, guys. Take care. Lots of love.